Hey Caroline, lovely to see you.
Hi Nick, lovely to see you as always.
In the sun. I think last time I saw you was Sheffield.
Yes.
Sheffield to Berlin. What a great journey.
And I was showing you a prototype of something there, and this is the more now it's going into production. The Alchemist Power Distribution Hub with musicians in mind is the official spiel.
It's the tagline, right?
Yeah.
So I've been using these little MyVolt step-ups.
Yeah.
Really, really nifty. So basically USB-C cable, and they'll just sort of output various kinds of
Voltages.
Yeah.
So it fits on the end of a USB-C cable, and then it turns it into barrel. This one will power like an electron analog 4 off a USB power bank, and there's 9-volt centre positive, that's for Korg, the little tip a Korg takes. There's 9-volt centre negative for pedals. 15 volts, that's just coming out. That'll do modular rigs like the ones by IntelliGel. Those 15 volts and like 3 amps.
Yeah, and some of the Dreadbox stuff.
Yes.
And then what was the other one? Pittsburgh Modular.
There's a ton of stuff that takes 15 volts. People have asked about these a lot, so I'm very excited. And I have a bunch of these to hand out to people today. And we made this barrel, we made Ripcord 8 years ago. Actually, Sonic State did a video with a really early version of Ripcord. But now USB-C is around, it's got way more power. There's so much more available. That Ripcord is still great and still works, but this takes advantage of the full suite
available. Because I don't know, what can a USB-C thing, it's like 35 watts or something?
No, you can go up to 100. Yeah, depending on the power source. So we have this, I'll just tell you a little bit about the hub. So this has 5 isolated outputs with up to 20 watts each. And then it has one at the end that does 100 watts. So you can power a Mac off the one at the end. Depending on now, you have to have a good power source. So, and also there's USB-A as well. So you have the older squarey USB-A to C as well.
Right, nice. Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. And there's one out as well. So I'll just explain a tiny bit about the in and the out. You can power from USB-C. So it takes from USB-C a power bank, a wall plug, whatever you got. And or else you can power it from a traditional power brick. So you could use any old laptop power supply you had sitting around in a drawer. We called it the anything in, anything out power solution.
Yeah,
and
nice.
It has one out that does 24 volts, so you can plug that into a Strymon OJ, for example. So 24 volts, just another option, something else handy, something that people have and use. It integrates into what system you have.
So I'm just thinking about this as for somewhere like Berlin, where I'm coming and I've got to charge a load of stuff. I've got a load. This would be really good to have on the desk because we could just power the laptops, we could power
phones,
routers, phones,
your Mac, charge up all your power banks. Charge up all your phones. Do it all at once. And also you have the reassurance of lights. You have the reassurance. I don't know if you can see that, but
there is, because we've got one of these cables and it shows the wattage that they're drawn.
That it's drawn over. Okay, and to that, people might go, "That's fine," but how do I know what tips? How do I know if my stuff is too powerful, it'll draw too much? And we actually made Power My Gear is this webpage that I have here. I'm just cancelling out the Wi-Fi. So I've actually recreated the setup that we have on the table here. So the mixer, the 2 Volcas, the Dreadbox pedal and the Roland, and then you hit Power My Gear. And it'll power it.
Tells you what you need.
Yeah,
right?
It tells you what you need. It displays the power sources. That's with the power bank.
I'm getting a good abs workout here.
Yeah, right. Actually, while we're here, I'm just going to show you as well. Its Kickstarter page is where this is going live.
So this is a Kickstarter launch, right?
Yes, and it's going. So pre-ordering essentially. This is made and it'll be available in 3 months. And I think it's 3 months, but there's more details on the page. But we've done the work. We've made this working prototype. It'll be a bit different because it'll have a heatsink on it. This is a working prototype, but it is not
what
the finished
sort of
one.
heat does it generate? I mean, it's hot here, and that doesn't feel hot to the touch. So.
I don't know the heat it generates. You can ask the engineer about that. And because this doesn't have the heatsink on it, I didn't want to talk about that aspect of it too much.
No, fair enough.
This is not the exact final one. I want to talk 1 second about the crazy chains because that's the other thing. I don't think I mentioned these. So people might have used our original crazy chain, which allows you to daisy chain different devices in the same voltage together. So we've actually evolved this a little bit, and it's got a polarity indicator on it, so you know if something's center positive or center negative. and there's like angling just so it's nice for gear, and a nice robust cable that'll take, I think that'll take up to 100 watts as well. So this is like the evolution of Crazy Chain. So you power like a couple of 9-volt Falcas and a pedal. The pedal takes a different polarity, but you can use these to change the polarity.
One thing that about USB power supplies, particularly when they're coming from a hub, is obviously you can get into grounding issues, but
That's why this
doesn't happen with USB-C, right?
This is isolated. This is the silent Alchemist. So that's why it's with musicians in mind. These ports are all isolated from each other, so you won't get the grounding.
There's no common
issue.
earth, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So Kickstarter's going to be coming up round about the time that people see this video.
That's right. So I hope that's going to be May 21st. Going to be released. Now, if you back it right at the start, there's an early bird, and you can get a free. We don't have one here, but there's the Alchemist. This is the Silent Alchemist. So this is the isolated power, super sexy one. And then there's a more basic one that's still a wonderful distributed power hub, but it doesn't have the isolated power ports. But you can daisy chain them together, but you can get a free Alchemist, not the Silent
okay.
Alchemist, if you back the campaign early.
What sort of cost are we talking about?
That's so funny, I don't have that here. But if you go to the Kickstarter campaign, I expect that to be in the page and it's not here. But it's, I think it might be $199 for the first reward. But we'll double check that and we'll have that in the notes.
But I mean, that's going to power a ton of stuff as well.
A ton of stuff. Yeah, so many wall warts that you don't have to carry. With these, they're so small. Everything is small. You can change it on the fly. You can daisy chain them together, and you can pair it with anything.
I guess really a lot of people will be great for live as well, where it's a simplified setup. You just plug the whole thing in. And
there's some like redundancy because you can power from the wall, and you can power it from USB-C. There's fall over. There's reassurance from the lights. You're in a mission critical situation, and you know your gear is powered right.
Excellent. Great work. Thank
Brilliant.
you very much.
Can I talk about my favourite things I've seen at Superboot?
Okay, go on then.
Just for a second. I just want to tell everyone to go to the Din Sync tent, is the Acid Techno tent, and that is my favourite music that I've seen here. And I also really just want to say that the 4MS Meta module, have you seen that, Nick?
I haven't filmed it. Somebody, I think Ed filmed it.
It's really good.
Yeah,
good. And they were so passionate, the guys talking. VCV rack in a module, I loved that. I thought that was brilliant. Oh, and Playfader. Lovely Hadge from Playfader. He's amazing, and we're actually working with him. He's shipping ripcords with his device, but he is such a passionate person and like so fun and cool.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of their things before. I think one of our guys is reviewing Playfader at the moment, or not reviewing it because he's at Superbooth.
Yes,
so
yes.
There we go.
Gaz Williams introduced us.
Yes,
so that's
absolutely.
lovely.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you very much, Caroline.
Thank you so much.